What is a better unit to be thinking about? Hours. So how many hours? Raise your hand if it's less than 1 hour. The average woman. Okay? Not just slutty women, the average woman. Okay? Alright, who thinks it's 5 hours or below? Who thinks it's 10 hours or below? 20 hours or below? We can tell where people are in different parts of the United States. All the guys from LA were like, under 1 hour. All the people from Omaha, Nebraska were like 20, and all the women were raising their hand around 20 hours. I saw that. I see it. The answer is 7 hours. So guys, some of you need to go on longer dates. And some of you need to go on lots of micro dates. Same effect. They found it doesn't matter if it's one long date or 7, 1 hour dates. And think about it, it's kind of logical. The average date is what, 2 to 3 hours? And on average, you guys ever watch The Office? When Michael Scott meets Holly, he's like, it's our 3rd date. You know what that means? Sex. That's what he says. But so he was right, 2 or 3 hour dates, you guys have out. With cold traffic, my guess is it's very similar. That there's some psychological mechanism that we inherited in our DNA that we don't trust people for about 7 hours. So practical tip of the day is what? How do you convert people to this is money down here at the bottom? We need a funnel that's how long? Now, that's a trick question. I can tell who's perfectionist. That's not quite the right way to think about it. It could be a funnel with just 1 7-hour interaction. Right? Or it could be a funnel with lots of 15, 10, 20, 30-minute interactions. Now, am I saying that it always takes 7 hours? Yes. And I think that's lowball. And some people are going to argue, I got people buying from me. I'm like, whenever people argue with this statistic, I'm like, I can guess how much money is in your bank account. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm getting all these sales. I'm like, how much? It's like 50 grand. I'm like, that's not 8 figures. Okay? This is an 8 figures conversation. You ever heard rappers say there's levels to this? There's levels to this. There always will be a small amount of people that will buy from you when your marketing sucks. They just vibe with you right away. But practical tip, write this book down. By next year, all of you should have read all these books I'm mentioning. These are classics. One of them is called Crossing the Chasm. Crossing the Chasm. It's one of the most studied business books. It explains exactly this psychology. It basically says that there's 5 types of customers. There's pioneers, early adopters. Those are your people who buy when your marketing sucks. But then there's a chasm that businesses fall into and die as they try to get to 8 figures. Because most people are what's called pragmatists. And pragmatists only buy when 2 of their friends have bought before. But what comes first, the chicken or the egg? How do you get the other 2 friends to buy if those 2 friends won't buy if their 2 friends didn't buy? So that's the chasm of death. iPhone, which is now, the core product of the #1 company in history, Apple. Who here has 2 friends that buy an iPhone? Everybody, the whole world. So guess how many iPhones have been sold? 2 to 3 billion. See, they cross the chasm. And so what happens is, and everybody here, do you think if you added up the cumulative time that you've seen somebody with an iPhone, seen a billboard, been in an Apple store, heard Steve Jobs, do you think maybe it's been 7 hours of your life? Yeah. I mean, it's 7 hours just looking around. Everybody has an iPhone. So the cold traffic funnel for Apple is just insanity. It's just like buy. You go on these Apple stores, these retail per square foot, they're making more money than almost any business in history. So for each of you, I want you to think about the average person who who's in your solar system in business? Are they with you a lot? Sometimes people are like, Tai, what are you posting on your Snapchat? Like, I thought I was following you for business tips, and I'm like, oh, there's Rome, and there's Zach, and there's basketball, and there's dogs, and there's Lamborghinis, and there's girls, and there's I'm like, but you're following me, right? See, people don't even realize that the next thing you know, they know everything about you. I come up to people are like, how's your grandma? I'm like, do I know you? And they're like, no, but I know you. Because I'm